Ladies and gentlemen, we are now gathered to induct the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But before I induct our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, let's respect and acknowledge our hardcore king for all that he has done in representing hardcore wrestling and being the only Grand Slam winner, as most importantly, the Tennessee Backyard Wrestling hardcore champion. He may be Atomic Titan on the screen, but I always call him Hollywood Titan. But now that we've done that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go back in time to 7 years ago when our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, alongside some of his friends, including one member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame who's already in, and the founder and owner of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, Joshua Allen, had a dream. They had a dream to start their own backyard wrestling company out of Lafayette, Tennessee, which later morphed into Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. And since that day, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, in many ways, has become the standard bearer in backyard wrestling, with show after show generating sometimes 3,000 views, 5,000 views, or upwards to 10,000 views, or on their TikTok channel, where they've even generated hundreds of thousands, if not millions upon millions of engagements. It all started for a bunch of friends in school that wanted to live out their dreams. And in many ways, they've become the definition of a small business success story and what the definition is of an American dream. Where their most recent show, which took place tonight, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling's Rampage 157, Season 8, had 300, let me repeat this, 344 people watching. And at one point, nearly 100 people in their live chat. And as a matter of fact, a few short months ago, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, which in many ways our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame put on the map, was only mentioned by some company you've probably heard of called Barstool Sports, where they actually sat there and watched our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And in many ways, Barstool Sports has long known what we've known about Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, despite whatever anybody can say about it or our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame has been said about it. You cannot categorically deny the impact of our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame in what he's done inside the ring and outside the ring. But inside the ring, his contribution is one of the biggest tenfold of anybody in the sport of wrestling. And no, I'm not talking about the trench coat or the turtleneck or the sunglasses. I'm talking about what he's done in the ring throughout his 7 years. As I stated, he's the only Grand Slam winner in the history of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. And he has had war after war with some of the biggest names that have stepped foot in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling and have come from other places to try to see if they want to prove their worth in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. But ladies and gentlemen, in my 5 years in doing this here on Sportswire Radio, and for the past 4, I've been covering wrestling from around the world. I would have to arguably say that there is no company or no name that draws as much attention or earned media as our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Some say they want to test their skills against him. Some companies might want to be jealous. One company's promoter even mentioned them in a different interview at a different time. But the facts is that our guest and our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame actually 7 years ago proved that not only should he be in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and maybe even his friends, but he should be in many other Sportswire Radio Hall of Fames and any other Hall of Fames that'll be, because I have no doubt that our 55th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame will probably be inducted more than on one occasion here as a part of our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But I also have no doubt that there'll be many other Wrestling Hall of Fames out there that our newest inductee will be a part of. I always say the phrase, endorsements are earned, not given. And I truly believe that this inductee into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame has earned it for what he's proved in the ring, in being time and time again the competitor that always rises to the occasion. They said he couldn't do this. They said he couldn't do that. They said he couldn't have matches with high flyers. They said he couldn't travel. They most recently said he couldn't do hardcore wrestling. But time and time again, he writes his own story, despite what he might have said last year for most part on TBW Rampage shows. But the facts are is that he long wrote his own chapter and wrote his own book, because he's definitely somebody that, although he may be from Lafayette, Tennessee, he truly is Hollywood. And Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, which he has worked for through most of his time in this sport of all wrestling matters, and here in the world of backyard wrestling, is known by even many of my friends that are across the pond in the UK. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Friends of Sportswire Radio who've come on the show have said, I've watched that Titan guy who you've had on Sportswire Radio. I've seen him in TBW. I've heard from people left and right. And ladies and gentlemen, we've inducted many members of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, including the man that is also the owner and founder of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, a man that he has certainly had a checkered past with, Joshua Allen. But the truth is that to me, you're measured by what you've done in terms of who's watched you and who talks about you. And there's no doubt that our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame should have probably been inducted maybe even on the same day as Joshua Allen has. Because the truth is, he's the only Grand Slam winner, and he's the one that everybody talks about. As a matter of fact, some other Sportswire Radio Hall of Famers have mentioned time and time again that they want to prove their skills against Hollywood Titan, as I like to call him. Like the likes of a guy that's the hardcore god, supposedly, the boogeyman of the Midwest, Oben Black. Soldier GP, the popular heel monster, the IMF world champion. Some guy you've probably heard of, a Nemesis, James Taylor operatives. Then there's been some other guys out there. Chase Wakefield, yes, the Bitcoin billionaire. He's mentioned the likes of our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Jackson Law, Justin Parsley, Brandon Castelli, Ace Christian. It's a long list of people that have mentioned that they've wanted to test their skills. Nicholas Crenson, the resident rock star Sean Jovi. I mean, I could probably go on. I probably missed at least 5, 6, 7 other names that are already in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame that have wanted to prove their skills against our Hall of Fame. And I truly believe that's because he wrestles for a company that's on the biggest stage. But the truth is, he might be in character, and he might truly be the hardcore king and a Hollywood Titan. But really 7 years ago, as I continue to state in my speech as your master of ceremonies, to induct our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, that it really started at that moment. And there are very few people, when you look back in life, can say that they have the amount of followers, the amount of views. The views on YouTube reach nearly in the millions. It's well over 6 figures. Subscribers on YouTube reach well over 7,000. As a matter of fact, when I first started covering Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, the company was at a little over 3,000 subscribers, and they've doubled that in just about a year's time. And that's all because of the hard work of our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame and everything that he's done in this sport. I am proud to wear this shirt, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. There have been many wrestlers, some that have said good things, some that have said bad things about our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, I will always proudly defend Tennessee Backyard Wrestling because to me, it doesn't matter about how you do it, who you reach, when, where, what. It's a matter of how many views, how many people are talking about you. And if also Barstool Sports said you're pretty much watchable, then who's to argue? Who's to say? But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I could go on and on and on about our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I'll certainly acknowledge and respect our hardcore king and our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for sure throughout the next hour or so. But I pretty much think that you're sick of me going on and on and on about our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He may not be sick of it, but a lot of people, as I can already see, want to talk to our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But ladies and gentlemen, before I officially induct our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame and also give him that introduction he's gotten so many times, I want to put this out there. As the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters, and your voice of all wrestling, the Reverend Tom Bryce. I speak with a lot of people around the world. I speak with a lot of people in all backgrounds. I speak with people from all types of sports and even all different types of wrestling companies. But I can honestly say that I'm proud to call our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame not only our 55th member, but to me the most important thing is that I'm proud to call him a friend. I'm proud to call him a friend, and that to me means more than anything else. It doesn't matter about views, championships. Sure, we'll talk about them. I promise you, we'll get there, ladies and gentlemen. But the facts is I judge people in how they are in front of me, and I judge their character. And our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame has all the intangibles to not only be in our Hall of Fame, as I stated, but to be in our Hall of Fame probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times over, and anybody else's Hall of Fame that's out there. Because I have noticed that there are other Hall of Fames now that are out there. Since Sportswire radios, we started our own. But I'll always say you can never replicate the original. There'll never be a Hall of Fame like this one. And there's no Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen, that has truly the definition of all wrestling matters. And it wouldn't be a Hall of Fame without our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So before I officially congratulate our 55th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame and our 5th member of our 6th class, Hollywood Titan, the Hardcore King, the only Grand Slam winner in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling history and our current Hardcore Champion, since it's actually been a while, maybe a month and a half since you last came on to Sportswire Radio, I have to give you that Hall of Fame-like introduction. Because, well, James Taylor has gotten it, Omen Black has gotten it, Soldier GP has gotten it, Josh Allen has gotten it, Justin Parsley's gotten it, Nicholas Crenson has gotten it, Sean Jovi has gotten it, Brandon Castelli has gotten on it, Chase Wakefield, Jackson Law, the list is endless. So let's time to give you that introduction that you've deserved and everybody's waiting for before we officially congratulate you into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, global sports show, the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, our 5th member of our 6th class, 55th member, the only Grand Slam champion in Tennessee backyard wrestling history, and our current hardcore champion. His name is Hollywood. Tarek Titan! The champ is here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're officially the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I will say that is the highest honor and privilege to be a part of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. You know, like, I may never make it to like a WWE Hall of Fame, but besides all the other Hall of Fames there is, this is the number one real deal right here on Sportswire to be in your Hall of Fame, and that is the biggest privilege and honor, like I said, and I'm glad to be in it. TBW started 7 years ago. I never expected to get where it is, but through hard work and dedication, that's exactly where it gets you. Where we're at today, 7,000 subscribers. There's a lot of people I want to thank. I want to thank all my opponents. I want to thank Joshua Allen for letting me, live my dream as a wrestler. Me and him started it 7 years ago back in high school. I want to thank Gage Flair for always believing me and pushing me to be the best. Without him, I don't think I'd be where I am today. I just want to thank everybody. I especially want to thank you, Tom. You're always a big supporter, and I appreciate you as always.
Well, I want to say that I'm glad you brought up the fact that 7 years ago, you were part of a group along with Joshua Allen that had this dream. And that's why I wanted to say that. And I know we'll get to a lot of the current stuff. We're going to talk a lot about that with you. But, in a way, it is a small business success story. It's an American dream.
Yeah.
Not everybody wakes up one day and says, you know what? I'm going to start a wrestling company. I'm going to start this backyard wrestling company in Lafayette, Tennessee. And 7 years later, it's going to wind up having 7,000 plus subscribers, mentioned on Barstool Sports, mentioned on TikTok, as I stated, where you guys on your TBW page have gotten hundreds of thousands of views, millions of impressions. The YouTube channel has gotten, I think, over 500,000 or 600,000 views to date in a short amount of time. And that's really because dreams come true. Hard work pays off. And I think that that's, to me, the moral of the story tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is that you were in a place that most people would never know. But as I mentioned in my speech to induct you as your master of ceremonies, there are people across the pond that come onto this platform and they know who you guys are. So you guys did it. You guys are an American dream and a small business success story. So for that, regardless of what anybody says, regardless of what people think and who and how they do it, doesn't matter. You guys got there. You've gotten to the top of the mountain, and you should be very proud of yourself, regardless, again, of whatever else people may think.
Oh, yeah, and there's a lot more work to do that comes with it. I want to get to 10,000 subscribers, and I believe we can do that by the end of the year.
You will get to 10,000. Like I said, last year, you guys were at a little over 3,000 subscribers. Now you're at 7,000. So if you go on that pace, by this year, next year at this time, you will get to probably 10 to 11,000 subscribers. So you will definitely get there. And I have no doubt that a lot of people want to speak to you. I'm going to get to them in a few minutes. But I guess you kind of answered it, but I'll still formally ask it to you anyway. What does it mean to you to be a member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame? It's a great class. It's not just Josh Allen.
Yeah.
It's not just James Taylor. I've got R.P. Davis in there, who, by the way, is the only person in the entire country of Britain that is a major boxing world champion and wrestling world champion. Dean Allmark, who only wrestled in this company called TNA, Impact Wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Only has wins over Jushin Thunder Liger, Bryan Danielson, Luke Leyland, who fought in Dombey, the only person from the entire country of Britain to have gone and fought in the African Warriors Fighting Championship. Danny Burns, who played in the NCAA Final Four. James Barris, the owner of Cutlery Championship Wrestling. Jam Dog, 20-year pro. I mean, it's a great list of people, not just in the world of the backyard. So what does it mean to you to be alongside all those different people?
It means a lot to be alongside all of those great names and people that's accomplished so much, just like outside of backyard wrestling, whether it be in like basketball or football, anything, wrestling, pro wrestling. It's an absolute honor to be, beside those people in this Hall of Fame class and everything. So I'm honored. It's like I said, it's the highest privilege honor I have.
Well, you definitely earned it, and I know I have some comments, but before I do that, I did want to present to you something. Now, you've obviously received something in the past from us here on Sportswire. I believe from one of your official last appearances on Sportswire. But I was wondering, since it is your night, it is your special night here on Sportswire Radio, I was wondering if I could present to you something that would recognize you officially into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, Mr. Atomic Titan.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
Well, I'd love to show it to you, and I'm glad that you said yes, because I don't know why some people have actually said no in the past, but there you have it. You have been inducted officially as our 55th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. You have my John Hancock, which I'm going to make you chuckle. It took me like 10 minutes to actually sign this. For whatever reason, I jammed my finger, which I'm just getting over. I literally just got over jamming my finger, and I was like struggling to do this one. But for whatever reason, I finally got it. But on this date, March the 21st, 2024, you were officially recognized as our 55th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. I will certainly send this to you. And congratulations.
Thank you so much. That is awesome. I'm glad to be here in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame.
I'm glad to have you.
It means a lot.
It means a lot. Listen, it means a lot that you've been a friend. It means a lot that we get to cover TBW. I enjoy watching TBW. I got a chance to watch, obviously, the show. Yes, I found a way while I'm interviewing Tommy Merriman to actually watch the show, which was great. But obviously, it's an honor to have you here. We've got a great class of people, and we should have probably put you and Josh in it the same day, but that's how scheduling goes sometimes. But he's going to have a lot to say, I have no doubt about you. But certainly, I will pull up the list of the Hall of Famers that are actually in our section on SportsWire in a little while. But let me get to some comments here first, kind of set the tables for us. Speaking of Hall of Famers, Mr. Allen is here after a great Season 8 opener. I got to listen to the Hardcore Jester.
Yeah,
I have to make you laugh. There is actually a wrestler in the UK that is called the Jester. He's the Jester, J. Rowe Lewis. Yeah, he was the former Nonstop Action Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. He was the former UKW Champion of the world. So, if we were going on Jesters, he was a two-time world champion. So maybe it's not a bad thing to be called the Hardcore Jester. I mean, maybe Mr. Allen backfired there on that.
Yeah, maybe. But I will say, he's kind of like my new boss now. He's a new general manager. Yeah, which I got to deal with him telling me what to do now, which isn't going to be pretty. So you better stay out of my way. That's all I'm going to say for right now.
Well, we'll certainly find out. Want to say hello to my buddy who promised to tune in and who's going to be back with us in a few weeks. He is from DBW. He is the big man of DBW, Big Tex. And Big Tex also made his debut in Amplified Pro Wrestling out there in Pennsylvania. And for whatever reason, he doesn't like you, but he did say congratulations on Season 8 open. I don't know if Big Tex, are you looking to come into TBW? Are you looking for something? Why are you going after Mr. Titan? I would love to know, but certainly, yeah.
I was going to say anybody that wants to join TBW Talent 2017 at gmail.com. Send an email.
You know what? Big Tex, I don't know the travel that you would have from Pennsylvania to Tennessee, but if there's a will, there's a way. I would love to see it. And he was also the big man of the year in DBW. So he's got a great resume. He's a good friend of mine. I would recommend Big Tex to any company, and hopefully we see more. Josh would like to thank Big Tex. Now, I got to say hello to this guy. I got to give him a big shit. I know it's your night, but this man once again shows up and wrestles in another promotion. I am talking about the birthday boy yesterday.
Yeah.
Resurrection pro wrestling internet champion, D'Angelo the Flame, and he was in the ring there with Chaotic, and D'Angelo the Flame, there he goes for the second time in less than 2 weeks. It's in a different promotion. As a matter of fact, he's wrestled in 3 wrestling promotions in a span of 12 days. I mean, Atomic Titan, who's done that in this sport? I don't even know if Delta's done that. Has Delta done that?
Probably not in that span of time, I don't believe. D'Angelo's went to AWL,
Yep.
TBW,
and Resurrection. He was at Fatal
Resurrection,
there in the King of the Hill match, and he was
and I'm
there.
sure he'll
Chaotic,
yeah, and I'm sure he'll show up somewhere else too. I mean, you never know.
I asked him that question yesterday, and he was kind of like, he had his energy and the way he danced. He's the energy of Sportswire Radio, and definitely that was a great match that they had, and I kind of got the sense. I know you're just a talent, but I feel like we haven't seen the last of him in TBW. From what I saw at the end of that match, I have a feeling that we haven't seen the last of him.
Yeah, I don't believe it's the end of it. Back around Summer Bash last year, after the Rampage after, I believe he actually defeated Jay Wild, and then Chaotic's a member of the Prophecy, so them cheating like that, low blow, then the cutter, and beating D'Angelo. Yeah, I think he might be back next week. You never know. He might get that sweet revenge.
Well, D'Angelo's. It's funny you said that. We spoke about that last night with D'Angelo and in the history there with the family and Jay Wild and obviously Chaotic, and I would obviously certainly stay tuned. Obviously, D'Angelo got back up after the match, and he certainly seemed like somebody that would fight. I just want to say how impressive D'Angelo was, because in the AWL, the Gold Rush Rumble, he actually eliminated 3 people. He had the most eliminations, and he basically guy that said a lot about you, ADT, and he dropped him. In fact, he drop kicked him out of the Rumble and drop kicked him so bad it was almost like a sack of potatoes the way he dropped him.
That's very impressive, especially taking out a champion like that.
The way he took out ADT. He also knocked out Christopher James, who was their world champion. He also took out Xavier Thorne, who's another big guy. I mean, I would love to see more D'Angelo the Flame in TBW, and we'll have to see. Stay tuned. And D'Angelo, definitely always honored to have him on. And next time he's on Sportswire, he's joining you into the Hall of Fame. And we had certainly celebrated him yesterday on his birthday. And speaking of people that are in the Hall of Fame, it sort of gave you, I guess, does it mean a congratulations? I don't know. It's a ... What does the dot mean? Does anybody know what the dot means?
I don't know.
What does the
I
dot
cannot tell you.
Okay, well, I don't know what the answer is.
Maybe he's upset because I'm here. I don't know.
Well, he shouldn't be. You're in the Hall of Fame. We give everybody a shot. We got to, I mean,
if anything, he needs to bow down and respect me.
Well, I think I would. Maybe he will. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the dots for. Maybe he's acknowledging you as the hardcore king.
He better be. I mean, he wasn't the one that showed up and confronted me. I mean, I was expecting anybody.
And we saw the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson and Jacob Young, and I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. So definitely a lot to talk about with you, my friend. CJ Black, the good guy, who may be appearing on Sportswire Radio in the next few weeks, and he might take his place in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. I think that, he's very worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. I mean, why not? I mean, to me, I think that he's very worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. If he would like to be in the Hall of Fame, I mean, he's a busy man, but we'll have to see. Stone Cold account and James Taylor commenting must be an omen. Run Titan run. That was funny. He points out Stone Cold and James Taylor Stone Cold, but they're 2 different people actually.
Let me tell you this: I was on Instagram earlier and I did an offer to CJ Black for me to come to ROEW and join his new group with Jason Storm and be in the BYW. I mean, we could obviously take over. I mean, and obviously, I guess he didn't want to accept it. So
why didn't he? So tell me why he didn't accept.
I guess he thought I was wanting to take him out or take his place. But I told him, I mean, we could be taking out Jack Delta. We could be taking out JX. Anybody that steps in our way.
Jacob Collins, who's there, see money, sure.
Yeah, we could be on the top of the world at this point. Both champions. I mean, Jason Storm seems like a good boss. He's a better boss, it seems like, than Joshua Allen is. So I mean,
do you like Jason Storm now with the bald head? Do you like the bald head look?
I mean, it was kind of different look, but it'll take some getting used to. But he looks like he maybe hit like a midlife crisis a little bit. But I mean,
That's the right, is that the right words to say if you want to join the group? I don't know how Mr. Storm will take that though.
I mean, I'm just blunt, but like they could still use me because I could obviously take them to, the promised land. I mean, I know CJ Black is already there, but me and him as a force together.
Well, and he's beat Jack Delta a few times already. He's technically got wins over him. He's got a victory over JX. JX has been in XCW. He's traveled. He's also wrestled in a live crowd at the IMF's King of the Center show, and he was very successful there. So, he's had a lot of momentum. I mean, you obviously can't deny what he's done, and Jason Storm back as his best friend. Maybe he never left.
Yeah, me and Jack Delta have like unfinished business. So, he kind of got lucky against me on TBW Rampage when he first came down to Tennessee. Yep. So, I mean, if we like actually squared up again, I believe I could obviously take him on. I've watched him probably for a few years now, so I believe I have more of a knowledge what he would do. So, Jack Delta, if you're hearing this, yeah, I would challenge you to a match once again. I wouldn't mind taking you on. So, if that opportunity came, I believe I could beat you.
Do you feel like
Black needs to accept my offer?
Well, I have a lot of comments here. People are starting to come in as we're here with the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, the one and only Hollywood Atomic Titan. But do you feel like you learned a lot about Jack in his time here in TBW? We had Tommy Merriman on earlier today. Now, he worked with Jack Delta, but you also worked with Jack in TBW. And do you feel like you learned a lot from him that would allow you to kind of be able to, maybe know his moveset and walk away with some victories over him maybe?
Honestly, it's kind of like the same moves over and over, Tom. Let's be real. I know how to counter the Delta driver now. So, if he came up to me and he wanted to push me around like he did last time, this time I'm going to slap him in the face. Last time he wanted to be a bully and push me. This time it's going to be different.
Well, you're hardcore now. That's the difference. You're
I'm
hardcore now.
I don't believe he has what it takes to take me on because I would obviously like beat him. So, I'm not scared of him.
And certainly, again, because you have proven time and time again that you are the hardcore king. So, all right there. So we'll have to see, if Jax comes in the chat. He was in the chat earlier today. I don't know.
He's going to bow down. That's what he's going to do.
We'll have to see. Big Tech says it's an 8-hour drive to Tennessee. D'Angelo the Flame gives some type of emoji, which I'm not quite sure what it is, but let me know. But Big Tex actually wants to say something to you. I'm going to let him have the opportunity to do it. Tom, it's like you said in your introduction. People want to prove themselves against Atomic Titan, and I'm one of those people maybe in the future. Now, he also, so you know, he wrestled Mr. Judgment. Mr. Judgment, I'm sure you know him. Mr. Judgment is a very accomplished wrestler, and he put up a great match against him and almost took the DBW world title from him. So Big Tex is certainly a guy, he's an up-and-comer. He's certainly accomplished a little bit in a short amount of time, and that would be an intriguing matchup for him to come into TBW if that's something he desires. What do you think on that?
I mean, he can come and try to face me, but, does he actually deserve it? Like, has he?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
What he's going to do is he's going to come in that ring and he's going to take a knee. He's going to bow down. He's going to show his respect, and then I'll think about it.
So maybe he should take a knee almost like when in the fourth quarter of a football game when the quarterback has pretty much acknowledged like a victory. So he should kind of get into that victory formula and kind of just, get ready to kneel and just kneel down to so you can get the victory. Almost kind of like that's what you're saying he should do. He's a big guy, but he should just more or less go out there and just have the victory formation, give you that victory, and acknowledge you as the hardcore king, right?
Yeah, he needs to lay down. That's what he needs to do. Big Tex, I'm not scared. I'm not scared of how big you are. You can have big in your name, but it don't matter. I can still take you out. You won't want to face me in a hardcore match. It'd be your worst decision ever. So it's best to stay where you are and acknowledge me.
Okay. Mr. Judgment, though, is a very impressive opponent. I mean, Mr. Judgment's a guy that, he's really accomplished. He just wrestled the Barbarian not too long ago. So I will say that.
I've heard of him. Good wrestler.
Great guy, by the way. Great guy. He's in the Hall
Yeah,
of Fame, by the way. He's actually, maybe a colleague of yours now officially.
awesome.
Okay, I've got a lot of comments here. We'll move on from that because Mr. Judgment we can talk about a different time. It's because I already wear sunglasses and everyone knows only one person in a group can rock them.
That's not true.
Didn't the
See,
NWO, didn't they all wear glasses after a while?
I believe so. So CJ Black, you're incorrect.
Well,
I
Mr.
think
Allen,
I think he's scared because like if I came to ROEW, I would take his spotlight.
you think so?
Possibly.
Why do you say that though?
I mean
He beat Jack Delta. He beat JX. I mean, he beat those guys. I mean, those are really respected guys.
Look, he says he has the greatest backyard wrestling match ever.
Well, you might have
it's not the greatest till he faces me.
Well, you have some of the more viewed matches in backyard wrestling. Some of the greatest viewed backyard wrestling matches. Is that more of a more fair statement? I mean, season finale. What did season finale 7 do? Like almost 8,000 views or something like that.
It's around like 8,000. So
there
yeah, like go. CJ Black. If I showed up to ROEW, it would blow the roof off in viewership. It would gain so many subscribers that you would be signing me to a full-time contract because of the everything that would come with it.
So should CJ? I know it's really Jason's question. Should Jason sign you and just open up the vault from ROEW to sign you? Is that what you want?
I mean, yeah, they should. I mean, I've already made that deal trying to get a part of the BYW, their group. So if they see it appropriate, I will show up to ROEW. Maybe if I could join their group or have a match with CJ Black, we could call it the greatest wrestling match #2 ever.
And you could have said 1A or 1B. Okay.
I mean, A, B, C, whichever,
Fair enough. I want to say hello to one of my buddies who just had a vlog that I watched yesterday. The resident rock star, Sean Jovi, who always travels. He travels from Wisconsin to Iowa regularly. And he had a really fun vlog. And he actually mentioned me in my show like 14 different times. So I have to say hello to Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, who he and I have one disagreement. He kind of likes the new Bon Jovi song. I don't like the new Bon Jovi song, but I still love the resident rock star, Sean Jovi. And he's in the Hall of Fame alongside you. And he wants to say hello. So hello to Sean Jovi. And he is awesome. He is one of my favorite people. And I have a lot of people that want to say hello. Mr. Allen would like to say, CJ, take it from me. Tightening groups or factions, you'll get used or get manipulated. Well, he's not.
That's not true. That's not true. He's the one that always used me. I'm sick and tired of him doing that. So,
we're still going on that for over 2 years now. We're still going on that, by the way. It's been over 2 years, 2 years since then. But
who hired him back as the general manager? That was a joke.
It wasn't Beast, I can say it that much. But the quote goes like this. He made Jack Delta tap out in the greatest backyard wrestling match ever.
I mean, I could make you tap out. I have a submission move too.
Now, some had said that prior to the match, Jack Delta had just wrestled Eric Mason for the XCW New Age Championship, and Eric Mason is a very big guy, physical guy. Now, I don't think that's an excuse, but some people, Jack himself, sort of hinted that that was maybe an excuse that he had just wrestled a few days prior against a big man, and it took a lot out of him, and that maybe wore him down for that match. I don't know. I mean, I think ultimately CJ Black won the match. It doesn't matter. You went out there and wanted to go, but
Delta just wasn't the better man. Let's be honest.
And that's certainly a point that people could certainly make a fair statement on. You just pissed that you're defending the hardcore championship at no return 5. I'm going to get to that. I'm sick of you ducking competition. You're supposed to be a king. Well, prove it.
When was I ducking competition?
Well, you're getting competition. I'm going to talk about your competition.
Ducking no competition.
I'm going to get to your competition, though, in a few minutes. That was for earlier when you always talking about if I'll be there next week. Maybe I will be. Maybe I won't. Just have to tune in. All right. Well, that's why. Yep, go ahead.
I mean, I'll for sure be there.
So maybe you'll expect to see him. And actually, if you want to tune in, that's how you tune into TBW. And in fact, I'm even going to put up on the screen how you can also further tune into TBW in a few minutes because we have to share the screen. So we're going to do that here shortly. So, but that's also how you can buy some merchandise like mine. You see this? You can get that right there at redbubble.com. Get your TBW merchandise and support them on all those great platforms. So definitely make sure you do that. I want to say here, James Taylor gave an emoji, which I'm not sure what that emoji is. You know what that emoji is? Is that a cookie? Is that a cookie emoji? What is that emoji?
I don't know what his problem is, but he can go away. He needs to stay right here. It's my night. He needs to respect me.
Sean Jovi now is competing with your sunglasses. He says
Well,
he
let's
has
see
the
him.
best
Where's your
sunglasses.
sunglasses at? You gonna come on here and show me?
So you want Sean Jovi on to show you sunglasses? Sean Jovi's a busy man. I mean, he's
I don't
but
know, man.
he's a
I
busy
was just
man.
sending an invite, so I mean.
It's up to you. I mean, if the resident rock star wants to come on and say hello, he's always welcome. He's also in the Hall of Fame. Speaking of people I love, Hillbilly Tilly, C.J. Bookham, he'll bring the with him.
You wouldn't want me to show up in AWL. I would take that world heavyweight title faster than you've ever seen.
Well, Travis Hunt's the new champion. I mean, he's the new champion.
Like, I know who that is. The only man I know is ADT.
Well, LaFlame, you technically know LaFlame because he showed up.
Yeah, I know LaFlame, but yeah, they wouldn't want me to show up. I would be outshining their competition.
So you wouldn't be Jack Delta there, where Jack Delta's not showing up. You would show up there, go to Alabama, and you came, you went, and you conquered almost.
Yeah, and then I'll bring their title back with me. So,
well, he's the NEW division champion. He's the new division champion.
I mean, I could take that as well, whichever one they want to put me up against.
Okay, well, I'm going to certainly say ADT. I'm sure we'll get the message. And he's also in the Hall of Fame, by the way. So another colleague of yours in the Hall of Fame. Maybe my best friend gets you in ROEW, and you prove to me that you're worthy of my respect, little guy. Loser,
little guy.
He called you little, man. That's not fair, right? That's not nice.
He's got a slap across the face coming to him. I can already tell you now. He's going to earn my respect.
Well, we'll have to see. And thank you, Hillbilly Tilly. And I just want to repeat, Hillbilly Tilly was in our Hall of Fame. We inducted him 2 weeks ago. And I just want to say he had a quote that I've been using since then. And he said this actually when he was about to wrestle his last match. True backyard wrestlers do this for the love of the sport of wrestling. And it's certainly Hillbilly Tilly and many others, yourself included, who have done this and have represented the sport of wrestling truly because they love it. So thank you so much, Hillbilly Tilly. And it was an honor to make you the first general manager to be inducted into our Hall of Fame. And please support our friends at the AWL. And, I did want to ask you, what do you think about Matthew Joseph back in charge?
I was like a former, prodigy or something of his back in the day. And then I wanted out of that, so he was the joke as well. He just comes out there with his, Hulk Hogan shit that he wants to. Sorry,
the Hollywood music.
It's whatever he wants to do at the end of the day, but he got what he deserved as well. He shouldn't have been out there trying to break up the main event. Matthew Joseph, he shows up every now and then. So I'm not really a fan of him. He needs to go into retirement and stay there, stay away from TBW far as possible.
You can't be happy with him right now, and certainly Mr. Allen, because it seems like that last year it was Beast toward the end of the season that was giving you hell, and now your life's being made hell when it comes to Joseph and Allen. It's almost like it's a tag team against you.
Tom, I'll be honest with you.
Yes,
I'm not a fan of Joshua Allen as general manager.
Oh, why is that, by the way? I wonder why.
I mean, you can think back a few seasons ago.
Yes.
When we were, I think it was like season 4. He was my boss then as well.
Yes.
I slapped him across the face.
You did. You actually spoke about this in a prior episode. Yes.
I threw water in his face. I actually took his job from him once.
Well, was the water hot or cold? That's what I want to know.
I believe it was very cold.
Well, that's worse than hot water, actually, as a matter of fact.
So you think for a minute that Joshua Allen is going to tell me what to do? Nah.
I don't know. I don't know that answer.
I'm not here to play games with him. I don't even see him as an authority figure at this point. He's just a guy that was out of a job, and had to come in to be relevant again. That's the
Did
only way.
do you feel some would say that you asked for this when it came to how you acted toward the end of the season? How would you react to that?
I mean, I thought I was doing a good job at the at the end of the season. I mean, whether I acted bad or whatever, I mean, I still believe like that Joshua Allen doesn't deserve that.
So, I mean, but with them
I,
back, I mean, how are you going to be able to deal with this now? I mean, this is a big question. I'm going to get to your opponent next at No Return 5. We're going to get to that in a few minutes. But
what I'll do is I'm just gonna take it week by week, and if he crosses a line, something's gonna happen to him. So you better watch out. And if he wants to step in the ring with me face to face, it's not gonna be pretty for him. So Joshua Allen, this is your warning right here on Sportswire. You better act right. You better do right for your hardcore king. You better not put me in weird situations, or you know what? I will walk out of the company. I'll go somewhere else.
But wait a minute, though. Joshua Allen is not a talent right now. He's not an in-ring performer. I mean, can you have a match with somebody that's an in-ring performer? I know we've obviously done this dance with the two of you on the platform, but he's the general manager. He's not an in-ring talent at this point.
I mean, if I provoke him enough, he might want to step in the ring with me.
But he may not be allowed or contractually obligated to do those things, no?
I'm not sure what his contract says, but if it came to be, I believe he could get the okay by Matthew Joseph.
But you've got some other people to worry about here.
Yeah,
so
I do.
I'm not so sure you should be calling out Mr. Allen for those reasons, but I do want to say hello to Mr. Beast himself. If I was still commissioner, I'd put Titan in a casket match with Black Fox, winner take all. Maybe it's a good thing then Beast isn't the commissioner anymore.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. He's got it coming to him, so I'm sure I'll run into him sometime during the season. It's not going to be pretty what happens to him either. I've faced him before. I'm going to bury him again.
But right now, we've got other people to worry about, though, I would certainly say. But before I get to some more comments and ask you about your opponent coming up, I actually wanted to have people, if you have not yet, please support our friends at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling on their YouTube channel. I actually have put it up here because they have over 7,000 plus subscribers. They've got here a number of different links. And if you want to click these different links, you're able to do that. You can check them out on Facebook. You can also check them out here on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, any place you have social media, you can find them. And get this, ladies and gentlemen, Rampage episode 157, 240 views and counting. And 344 people at one point were watching. So what that means, by tomorrow, the algorithms are going to show TBW was in maybe the 2,000 range just in the span of a day. That's why you need to support Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. Buy merchandise, buy shirts, whatever it is, just buy all of it. And I'm telling you, TBW is the place to be. And look at your TBW merch site page. If you want to go support that, you're welcome to. I'm going to pull that up in a second. So anywhere you can to support TBW, there's so many ways you can do that. And if you want to have a shirt like me, you can actually do it with this link because I'm going to pull it up. I actually have it right in front of me. Thank you to the crack staff. And that is TBW Merchandise Shop, TBW Merch Shop. And you can buy your merchandise, have the merchandise that I have here. You can find it and anything else that you can get, all TBW related merchandise. So make sure you support TBW. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. And we are here with the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He is our 55th member. He is the one and only Atomic Titan. And if you want to buy some merchandise like that, here's a shirt that you can check out. Atomic Titan, the best. And not only is he the best, he's a Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. And I have some more comments, so let me get to them. Mr. Allen would like to say it isn't going to be like my last time. You're not going to throw water in my face or slap me around. And I have a message from the management of REW, and they have spoken of that one. Atomic Titan, the door is open. We already made a deal with AWL for a crossover. I believe they have a show coming up in the next month or two. Stay tuned for that for their channels. Might be time to make a ROEW TBW crossover. What do you say about that? ROEW's in Michigan.
I mean, that could happen. I mean, anything's possible. If you want that to happen, contact the guy that's in the comments right now, the general manager, Joshua Allen.
Oh, this guy right here?
He can make that happen. It could be CJ Black versus Atomic Titan. It could be CJ Black versus Russell Cooper. CJ Black versus Gage Flair.
Wait.
Money versus Jay Wild.
CJ Black and Russell Cooper. Wouldn't that be champion versus champion?
Yes, it would.
And wouldn't that be similar to like 40 years ago when you saw Bob Backlund versus Ric Flair, the WWF champion, the NWA champion, or Nick Bockwinkel and Bob Backlund, or Nick Bockwinkel versus Ric Flair, the AWA versus the NWA, and the AWA versus the WWF? I mean, that would be something I think a lot of people might want to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. We could blow the roof off. Literally. There's many matches there that we could have. So it's possible. Just contact this man right here, Joshua Allen.
So this guy right here, all you have to do is contact this guy. And if you're a fan of TBW, you're a fan of ROEW, management is here and they're open to a crossover. So, you know, why not? But CJ Black already threw some shade at Russell Cooper, and that's kind of interesting on his part because he says Russell Cooper wishes he could share a ring with me. What do you say about that?
I mean, yeah, you're right.
I thought you were on Team TBW's side.
I don't like Russell Cooper.
But
I beat him numerous times.
I understand that, but he's a TBW colleague of yours. I would think TBW sticks together.
I don't care if he's TBW or AWL or UWA. I don't care who he is. Like I said, I made a deal with CJ Black, and I would be on his side. I don't care who Russell Cooper's side he is. TBW, I don't care. I can go anywhere.
So you're not loyal to TBW then?
No, I mean I am, but I could show up anywhere. So
so that's really the point is that you are loyal to TBW, but if there's a deal that's in place to put you somewhere else, you would certainly jump at the offer.
Yeah, let's be real, Tom. Here,
yes,
I could show up anywhere and take on anybody. It don't matter where it is.
Hey, so, listen, VTW's out there. I mean,
VTW, yeah. I mean, I've done it before.
We know that. Listen, we know you've traveled before. We also want to say for Mr. Allen, he has his boots. Just saying, James Taylor's talking about his situation in TBW. The only thing I'm going to say about that, and everybody knows I love James, that's up to Beast and Allen. They're going to have to figure that out. I obviously would love to see whatever happens works with them, but that's an issue for them. But, let's now talk about your opponent that you are getting. Now, obviously, you had this open challenge. You talked about it here on Sportswire, and you came out, and we finally saw two men that you've actually shared a ring with and defeated.
Already
and the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson and Jacob Young. Jacob Young is a man that we haven't seen in ages, and he comes out, and he was wrestling in a 2 out of 3 falls match against the Grim Reaper Joe Anderson. You came out for this match, but now we're going to see you at No Return 5 against Jacob Young, and you've been here with Jacob Young live on Sportswire Radio. So how do you feel all about this?
You know what I did to him at All Hallows Mania? I almost broke his neck. I made him pass out.
He talked about the role. He talked about it in his promo. He talked about the fact you literally nearly hung him. We might have had to try you for a hate crime. I don't know if I would have gave you a thumbs up for the hate crime, but literally, if what he said and what we saw at All Hallows Mania, you literally could have been tried for a hate crime. What you did to him. Look,
he inserted himself into that match, so he knew exactly what he was getting into. So I don't want to hear what he has to say. Come No Return, I'm going to liberate him. I'm going to destroy him. He is going to feel so much pain from his hardcore king. He's going to want to bow down and show me the respect. because I am sick and tired of that guy. He wants to come around here and he wants to say he's this puppet master. He was pulling the strings of me. No, no,
To
no.
riddle me
Leave
this,
it
riddle
alone.
me that. Yeah.
He's probably been in therapy. He's probably been getting over the injury of what I've done to him. I'm sick and tired of that guy.
Does that make him, we love you, but, you're a friend. But does that make him dangerous, though, in the fact that you don't really know if he's playing with a full deck of cards? You know what I'm saying?
He's not dangerous, trust me.
No?
He is still living in the shadows of the Black Fox, the once persona he once had that overtook him. I can feel that energy still in him, and it wants to come out.
But getting a win
And
over Joe Anderson, 2 out of 3 falls, does that go any way in erasing it?
Joe Anderson is the past. He's the past.
But he
I am
wasn't
the future.
Wasn't past Jacob Young, and there was a pass there.
Look, them two buffoons, they came out there and they wanted to challenge me. I told them straight right there that they are a joke. They are in the loser circle. I've already beat them both. I was expecting somebody else, maybe like a Jimmy Controversy.
I was saying it for the longest time that I really thought we were getting Jimmy Controversy. I thought we might get Mikey Anarchy. I thought we might get. And this is what we got.
Look, it just proves right there that them guys.
They don't want to face you. They don't want any part of you. They know that you're the greatest success story of all time. You're a true small business success story, an American dream. They don't want any part of you because on the biggest stage, listen, they have not had the success on the big stage like you have. Remember, Jimmy Controversy has had a following. No question about that. But Jimmy Controversy on the biggest stage, Hollywood Titan, has not had the following or the success that you've gained. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, look, on the biggest stage against Jimmy Controversy or whoever it is, they would fail. They would fall. They would, they wouldn't be able to last. I would do so much to them.
And facing you is not like facing you is not like facing Grimm at GTS.
Yeah, I'm better than Grimm. I'll say that. I am the top of the mountain when it comes to hardcore
some would
wrestling.
even say that Grimm is really more of the true cosplay and true, satire. That's who some would say. I mean, I love GTS, but some would say that that's the true imitator, not you. You're basically truly an innovator. You're not an imitator. You're an innovator. Some would say that Grimm is the true imitator.
I am the true innovator. That's exactly right.
You're the innovator of hardcore. Some would say that, yes, you might be the hardcore king. Yes, you might be Hollywood Titan. But the facts are, for those that are listening and watching on Sportzwire Radio, you very well could be the new innovator of hardcore. I don't know.
I am the top of the mountain in hardcore wrestling. I am hardcore wrestling. I'm a hardcore god. I invented hardcore. It's in my name. It's in my blood. It's in my sweat. It's in my tears.
After what you did to Grim Reaper Joe Anderson and what you did to certainly Jacob Young, I mean, who's done that to anybody? Not that I can see.
How does Joe Anderson even think that he was coming out there to deserve an opportunity against me? He doesn't deserve it at all. So exactly what he needs to do, he needs to go
like he was
backstage and pick up those cards and play a game of cards with whoever he's playing cards with.
Well, maybe he doesn't have a full deck of cards.
Maybe not. I mean, but I know he resurrected. He thought he was going to come out there, come in my face. I exactly told him that I beat him twice. There's no more opportunities. Joshua Allen is a joke because he put them both in a number one contenders match. Is that all he could find? That's the only competition he could find for me?
But
bigger?
Okay. Now, I agree that we would have liked, maybe there was different names, but you have to now deal with Jacob Young. You have to deal with him. And despite whatever it might be, some could argue because of what you did to him nearly 6 months ago, he's going to be looking for payback. And you know what? Maybe in a way, Atomic Titan, that's going to make him just as dangerous as, let's say, anybody else that could have been in the ring with you.
I'm preparing for it. Whatever comes at no return. But at the end of the day, he's going to bow down. And it don't matter what I go through, I'm still going to get back up. He can put me through hell. it's not going to change a damn thing because at the end of the day, I am the hardcore king. Jacob Young is past his time. The man can barely walk. He can barely walk because of what he's been through. But after this, he might as well retire because I'm going to put him through so much hell.
So are you saying that you are going to look to put Jacob Young, to quote an Aerosmith album, on a permanent vacation?
Yeah, he needs to just go ahead and hang up the boots. I mean, I could challenge him, put his career on the line. But you know what? I'm going to think of something else. And I'll officially say it right here. I will probably announce this on Rampage next week. But since I am the champion, instead of an I Quit match, how about something along the same lines, but let's call it an I Bow Down match.
Wait a minute. Not so fast. Hollywood Titan, you are our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, but you mean to tell me that you're going to have an I Bow Down match? I don't know if I've ever heard this before.
I mean, it's like the same, like I Quit, but let's be real here. The
We've
loser
never heard it
is going to have to bow down.
We've never heard it phrased that way. You phrased it, I bow down. I mean, I think Jerry the King Lawler and Bret the Hitman Hart once upon a time had a Kiss My Feet match, but that's not the same as I bow down. I don't know if I've ever heard of anything like this before.
Well, I mean, he's going to have to bow down if he accepts my challenge. So come at the end of no return when I'm standing over him, he's going to have to get on his knee. He's going to have to bow down and show me the respect. So that's the stipulation there for no return. If he wants it, he can accept it, or we could just do a regular hardcore match. It's up to Jacob Young. It's up to management. It's whoever. But that's
now we have Rampage. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Rampage 158 next Thursday, same time as it always is, 8:00 Thursdays. Mm-hmm. Is that when he has until a deadline to respond?
Yep, next week, because that is the go home show before no return. So Jacob
Which will
Young,
be the following week.
Yeah, the following week, yes.
But so he's got 1 week. You're giving him
1 week. 1 week to this day to respond. I mean, you can come on here right now if you wanted to and respond.
Well, I was actually going to bring that up, that Jacob Young actually reached out on to come on to Sportswire Radio potentially.
Bring him on.
And well, I would love to bring him on tonight, but he didn't say he wanted to come on tonight. But he said, in general, that we might get him to return. And I guess if he accepts your offer, we could be seeing him a lot sooner and maybe before No Return 5. How does that sound?
That would be great. Me and him face to face.
You actually want him. So you want him here.
Yeah, I want him here. Bring him on right now, Tom.
I would love to.
If you can make it work, I want him here face to face, because you know what he said to me after he won that match? He said I was going to be a filthy stain. I want him to prove that to me right here, right now. I am sick and tired of him. He's no puppy. He's not pulling no strings. I am going to do worse to him than what I did to him at All Hallows Mania.
Well, so you want him now. So you correct me if I'm wrong. Just before I do something,
bring him on.
Well, okay. Well, until then, I have a bunch of people that want to say hello. So I'm going to certainly say, we'll get to a couple things here first. Let's go with CJ Black, first the winner of a TBW tournament to get a once-in-a-lifetime chance, making a whole reality show around it. I smell money. Maybe.
Buddy, listen here, CJ Black. It would be you fighting in a tournament to face me for this title right here. This is the title that matters in backyard wrestling.
Are you saying that you would be the one making ROEW famous?
Yeah, I would. Just like I made TBW famous, I would make ROEW famous.
So you would do what Jack Delta couldn't do for them, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I would take it to new heights, Tom. That's why CJ Black, his best friend, Jason Storms, can reach out, sign me to a contract, bring me in. We could have the greatest wrestling match ever, and I'll prove it right there to CJ Black that I am his greatest signee and his greatest rival to come in the future. I would be the biggest ROEW signee they've ever had. And
Okay, well,
I'm proving it right here. This is the most prestigious title in the backyard. When people think of backyard wrestling, they think of Atomic Titan
I tell
and
you
the
what, I
TBW
think
Hardcore
about it.
title.
I think about it, and I acknowledge TBW.
Well, look,
Famous, yeah, gotta jump
yeah,
in.
no, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say that famous lie. I'm not gonna go too much into the James Taylor stuff because I don't think it's fair to both parties. But he calls you a hardcore queen. That's I think unfair. He also, CJ Black would say, I'll admit that Titan is in a league of his own in hardcore wrestling. Next closest would be Austin G and the Kestering. Did I say that correctly? The Kestering of light tubes. Mr. Allen would like to say there's a gentleman that's been really wanting to get his hands on you, Titan. Just letting you know.
Who's
Interesting.
that?
I have a question or comment, rather, from Mr. Hillbilly Tilly. Dylan Andrews is the inaugural AWL Hardcore Champion. We saw that before Gold Rush. And I'd make the argument that the throne of the Hardcore King now belongs to the war criminal. He actually is a war criminal, by the way. He was in the military, and he actually is like a legitimate badass. I mean, he's a guy that, probably has done things that like none of us even know about. He probably knows where bodies are being buried like after the Iraq War. So just saying.
Congrats to him, but at the end of the day, I'm the actual hardcore king. Nobody's going to take my throne. I mean, Roger Cross even said it on commentary.
He did.
It was like two peasants fighting to please their king.
I did catch that line.
I need a throne. I need a throne.
We love Roger. So Roger Cross needs a raise?
Yeah, for sure. Josh Ross obviously don't respect me.
So Josh Ross should get a pay cut, but Roger Cross should get a raise.
Yep. That's 100% correct.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to plead the fifth on all that, but you know what? Dylan Andrews couldn't hold the $500 glasses case for Titans glasses. Irrelevant and not deserving of things.
Probably something we agree on.
Okay. I know Dylan Andrews, though. He's a big guy. He's a real tough guy. Who's that? Well, the deathmatch daddy, Jesse Daniels. I've heard that name ballyhooed quite a bit recently.
Who's this irrelevant guy? Who is this guy?
So you don't know him?
I don't know him, but he obviously knows me. So, I mean, I'm doing something good then.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel wonderful because that means if people are talking about me, that means I'm doing something correctly.
I'd like to let you know that Jacob Young has a scheduling conflict, but but good news for you or bad news for you is that we will be seeing him at some point. Good news, though, is
I wish he could at least comment, tell me what he feels, because I would really like to hear from him if he could do that.
I've told him we're on the air, so I mean, it's hopefully he checks this, but
he's probably too scared, Tom. Let's be honest.
If you are on Sportswire Radio and you haven't yet got a chance, go buy some TBW merchandise. Go buy some Atomic Titan merchandise.
Whoever makes the T-shirts, they need to make a Hardcore King shirt. I believe there might be one on there. I'm not sure, but it needs to be a good design.
I just checked. I mean, I know there's your shirt out there. I'm not quite sure if there's just quite yet the new Hardcore shirt, but I will also say if you want to follow TBW, you can check them out on YouTube because they're on YouTube and the latest show is out there. So go out there and support it. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, and I have some comments here. But let me come back to somebody else. Man, I come to watch certain people on here all the time, yet I keep seeing James Taylor trying to take people's time to complain. Why is that? I'm not going to get into that. That's up to the parties that are involved. We're here with the Atomic Titan, who's inducted into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So thank you very much for tuning in for that. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the Atomic Titan for us here on Sportswire Radio. And to confirm, Mr. Young, through his kind of way of speaking, has said he will be here before No Return 5. So I'm sure you got a chance to can bring him on. But, we'll see here. But, let me ask you, though, when it comes to Jacob Young, is there anything you want to say specifically toward him now that we know that he's your opponent, but also in the fact that he said he's coming on to Sportswire Radio real soon?
Well, he has made a date with destiny. Is he going to actually be able to survive, or is he going to fail once again? So no return. Jacob Young, are you ready for what I'm going to put you through? Because at the end of the day, no matter what the stipulation is, no matter what it is, I don't care what it is, I'm still going to be standing over you with this belt high above my head, and the commentators and the ring announcers and whoever else that may be is going to be saying, and still your hardcore champion, Atomic freaking Titan. And that's just facts. So you can say you're pulling strings, doing all this, want to call me filth. You're the real filth. You're going to be put out of your misery come no return. So you better be ready.
Very strong words from you there.
You better be ready. I'm tired of him and Joe Anderson. They need to get to the back of the line.
But Joe Anderson, though, is old news. You're not facing Joe Anderson.
Yeah, I know that.
You gotta forget about Joe Anderson. You don't face him. You're facing Jacob Young.
Yeah, me and Jacob Young have unfinished business, but I'm ready to move on past him. This is just gonna be an easy match. This is gonna be a day off, basically.
Are you sure you can say that? No, he's gonna be fired up. He talked about the fact you nearly killed him.
Yeah, I nearly killed him, and I wouldn't mind doing it again.
You don't want to be charged for hate crimes, I mean, hate crimes is a law now. I mean, you got to be careful with that.
Like
Tommy
Merriman
did the same thing on the show earlier, and you're doing the same thing. What has gotten into people on Sportswire? What's in the water?
Easy day off. Pretty much when I face Jacob Young, he's no competition.
Maybe it's March Madness. Today is the kind of official kickoff of March Madness for college basketball fans, and maybe we're seeing a March Madness. Tommy Merriman comes on here, and EBW commits all these crimes according to some people. You talk about here what you want to do to Jacob Young, and maybe that's what it is. It's kind of the official start of the underground and backyard season. I want to say hello to a man that's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern time, the Baltimore Kid. He is also the host of the Be More Talkative podcast. I wonder, Titan, in all your infinite glory and in keeping with your current wardrobe choices, you will someday bless the backyard world with the first ever hardcore turtle club.
That's a good idea, actually. I might think about that. That could be like a clothing line possibly in the future, which TBW needs to start selling this on Redbubble. They need to start selling turtlenecks.
How about maybe coming to a mall near you?
Yeah, coming to a mall. Yeah, we could do that.
When I go to the Staten Island Mall, then when I go to the Kings Plaza Mall in Brooklyn, and I go to those malls, I'm going to immediately think of this, idea that TBK has.
Yeah, on the back, on the tag, it's gonna read Atomic Titan, so you'll know exactly what you're looking for. It might be like a JCPenney or a Macy's. You never know.
Yeah, they have JCPenney in the Staten Island Mall and Macy's, and I think Kings Plaza has their own section. And so we'll have to see. I'll have to go to both malls, and I'll tell you next time. Although I think we're kind of going out of season for that, because I know today in New York it was cold, but we are eventually going into warmer weather. So
look, it's cut off. You don't have to.
I didn't know that. But I've got my TBW shirt on. That's really what I care about wearing. So that's what I want to say.
I believe you would look good in a turtleneck. I mean,
I'm not a turtleneck person. I'm a T-shirt person. I am going to wear my TBW shirt through and through. But there you go. Hardcore Turtle Club. You heard it here first. And by the way, he does design logos. Okay. He's designed some different logos. He'll only take 10%.
Maybe he could be the guy to actually design me something good for the Redbubble shop.
So you're not happy with the Redbubble shop, though? I mean, I bought some shirts.
I mean, I don't even have like a design really on there for the.
Do you own any shirts from the Redbubble shop? Yeah, that's what the burning question is. No, why not? Why don't you own any shots from the
I would if I actually had some good merchandise on there, but there's not.
You don't like the Atomic Titan the best on there?
That's the past, honestly. Let's put that in the past. It needs to say the Hardcore King, the King of Hardcore Wrestling, something along those lines, and they need to start getting to it and put it out there. So, yeah. I mean, it's still facts. I'm still the best. I mean, but you know what I mean.
CJ Black wants, though, to make a shirt. And he says, I can't repeat all of it because I'm a family show, and I try to be that way. I'll make a nice CJ's fill in the blanks.
No, I'm not that. Look, it's gonna be the other way around. So, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that.
That was nice. If you didn't want to repeat some of the language, that was nice.
I'll be language.
I appreciated that you've actually. You know what I will say about you? I've always appreciated. You've always been pretty good with the language on Sportswire over the past year. You've always been pretty good. I don't think you've said any profanity over the year.
it could be worse. I try to watch it.
There's been a lot of worse moments. Tommy
Yeah.
Merriman even dropped a few bombs, and I love Tommy Merriman. So that's just how it goes, I suppose. But okay, so we'll see about those things. But let me pull this up. So let me ask you though this question. I asked the same question to Tommy Merriman. Now that the season is kicked off here, you have any goals for 2024 and for this season here in season 8?
I'm not looking to wrestle as much. I'm kind of at the throne. I'm, kind of looking for other talent, looking around, see what they got going on.
Maybe you could try what CJ has. He's got this big guy. I think he's called Camp. I mean, maybe you could have this big guy.
I would actually look into recruiting somebody like that, but
you should try. He beat you to the punch. He's got this big guy that looks like he's got like Undertaker gear, like 2001 on him, and he certainly can move a lot quicker than Undertaker is at this point. Because Undertaker is 59, I think, and he made short work of Jacob Collins. So maybe that's the way you should go.
But I will say my goals are, like I said, kind of like just sit back, defend the hardcore title when Joshua Allen makes me do it. Put on some great remembering matches for TBW this season. Hold on to this title to the end of the season is my ultimate goal. Then, when no one else can beat me, people's going to actually remember that I am the hardcore king. People's going to remember this run for a lifetime. It's going to be bigger than Roman Reigns. I might hold on to this till season 12.
Well, I mean,
you never know.
I guess that's certainly Craven Rage territory. Let's not hope that you go into that territory and go in that way. Hope not. Let's hope that you don't go into that. And obviously, they wanted to show you the Hall of Fame section, the different people of the Hall of Fame, including a man that you actually know very well. He's there in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that's who you're going to be joining with in the Hall of Fame. How does that make you feel with Mr. Allen?
Yuck, and then yuck again.
And then there's Omen Black and Soldier GP. What a surprise!
Move on. Omen Black, dude. No.
Maybe it's the elbow injury that's bothering you a bit. I don't know.
Omen Black, he needs to move on. He needs to bow down and respect me, Tom.
Well, you can look at it like this. You made the Hall of Fame before Jimmy Controversy did.
That is true. That is true.
Let's score one for the hardcore guy.
Yeah.
That's good news, always. I wanted to ask you, though, with Season 8, is there anything else you're watching from the debut tonight? Was there anything that struck and caught your attention before I move on to a few other things and certainly cap off this historic night? Anything else that caught your eye?
D'Angelo LaFlame did.
Russell Cooper, Gage Flair, and his feud with the Jay Wild. That's still that storyline continuing.
Yeah, the prophecy, yuck, dude. I should actually go in there and be the father figure to all 4 of them guys. They need someone like me to be a part of the team, but I don't want to join that. I don't want to drink the voodoo juice and get brainwashed. If they had someone like
the
me,
guy that would like voodoo juice, by the way, you don't seem like that.
I mean, Beast probably drunk a whole gallon of it.
Oh, I mean, I'm not going to certainly get on Beast's bad side. I don't think I'm going to necessarily.
But let's be real. They need someone like me. If they,
why do you say that?
They're going to crash and fall.
Why do you say that for?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Jay Wild cannot capture a world title. He cannot capture basically any championship.
Gage Flair's been pretty successful though on his own.
Yeah, I mean, Gage Flair, he has. But the Prophet Jay Wild, he's not been successful at all. He needs someone to guide him. So he needs to basically, hire someone like me to come in and lead him to the promised land. He could be the next world champion if it was for me. Trust me, I've been there before.
That's true. I mean, I can't necessarily argue with that, and I have more people that want to say something. I have a good question, actually. I have a great question. I don't know why I lost the comment. No, I'm sorry, wrong. I think it's the my YouTube chat. There we go. What's your dream match? It's a great question. Thank you for asking it.
That's actually a very hard question.
I think it's been asked to you before, but it's always
Yeah.
different. You know,
I
you have
mean,
anybody that comes to mind?
there's
Could
a
be
lot of
anywhere.
people I would like to face. There's a bunch of resurrection guys I would love to face.
Oh my God, Resurrection!
Uh,
I can't say enough good things about Resurrection,
some that
man.
comes to mind would be like D'Angelo. Uh, let's see.
Roddy
Um,
Alpha.
I've already faced him before.
Would you want to face him again? Is more of my point.
Yeah, I would face him again. I would face Dustin Alexander again.
Did you face Rage? I don't think you faced
I,
Rage. Did
I
you?
faced I
You
faced
faced Rage
Rage,
months
yes,
ago. Okay, you got
a
Rage.
few months ago. Let's see who else.
This Gold Dragon was here
Gold
last
Dragon.
weekend.
I would face him as well.
Nep's no longer in the company. I mean, you could throw Nep as a bonus. Nep
Neff
no
maybe,
longer.
yeah.
Nep no longer.
Cameron Cage, because I
Doesn't
seen
work.
where
Yeah.
he called me out on
Yes,
Resurrections.
Cameron. We had Cameron here. Could throw in Cameron Cage. I would like to
Um,
see you run it back with Roddy Alpha again. I think Roddy Alpha is
yeah.
one I love to see you work
If it would be
again.
a one-on-one match, yeah, it would work. Malibu, he was a good competitor.
I think you and Rage would be intriguing. I think Rage and you would be intriguing again. We had Rage on here about a month and a half ago. I think that would be an intriguing match. You said D'Angelo. Listen, D'Angelo right now is on everybody's dream list right now. D'Angelo is on his way to being like the next traveling Willoughby. He's going to travel and go everywhere. So I think that would be a fun one, you know. Can I throw actually a couple people I love to see you wrestle?
Yeah,
Ace Christian, VTW.
I've
He's
heard
the
of him. Yeah,
VTW Rumble winner. I think I mentioned you in his podcast. I think Ace Christian would be a great opponent for you.
yeah,
Chase Wakefield, obviously you know Chase. Everybody knows Chase Wakefield. Chase Wakefield would be a great opponent for you. I would love to see you wrestle Navon McDonald. I'm sure you know Navon McDonald.
yeah. I've actually talked to him before. So
Navon's a great guy. I've spoken
yeah,
to Navon off the air. I think Navon would be a good opponent for you. I would also add another great opponent for you would be, I would even say like a JX. I think you mentioned JX earlier. I think you and JX would have an intriguing match. I think that would
yeah.
be, you know, I would throw in those names. I would
CJ
throw,
Black. I kind of went silent right there, but yeah.
well, because you've mentioned him throughout the night. I mean, because you've mentioned him throughout the night, and it seemed like that there was you wanted to work with him, and now it could be a dream match. I don't know. I mean,
I mean,
I'm
I
kind of
gave him a good offer, but now he wants to talk trash. So
no good then. No. As they say, sometimes no dice. You know, when I was, you know, we would play card games as you know in college. It was no dice for you. So no dice now for you and CJ Black. But yeah, those are some names that come to mind. I'm trying to think of anybody else that would stand out. A lot of the VTW guys would be cool. I'd like to see you wrestle. I think I'd also like to see you maybe in a match with an Austin James, who is an EBW. He's
yeah,
also DBW. You know, different guys like that. I mean, listen, I think it's a great question. I mean, it could change,
yeah.
but I got
There's a
some more
lot of people
comments.
out there.
There's a lot of people, and you know, I think D'Angelo LaFlame would you be a great match with you. D'Angelo would be a guy that could be realistic. That would be realistic. That could happen. CJ, you provide the shirt. I'll make the logo. And again, 10% have your people call my people. And by my people of I, of course, mean me. So he means himself. Thank God that Andrew Clay has seen the light and got away from them circus freaks.
Your brother is now what, a Texas hangman, I believe, something like that. Yeah, I mean, he's been through so many different personas in his career that I don't know what he is next. So it's good that he's seeing the light, but the next day he might see the dark again. So you never know.
You know
with
what it
that guy.
reminds me of in a sad way? I don't know if anybody watched it, but I just watched on YouTube the other night. I watched the documentary on Earthquake, and I didn't realize he played like that many characters. And by the
Oh,
time
yeah.
it was like his career was over, it was like I didn't realize he was playing a South Park character. It was kind of like that was what you're basically alleging Andrew Clay. But no, Andrew Dice Clay is not in TBW. It's Andrew Clay. Andrew Dice Clay is actually not in TBW. But do you think you guys could book him actually in TBW? You probably could book him, right?
Yeah,
TBW?
probably.
Why not, right? I mean, and D'Angelo said he loved to wrestle you.
Yeah, I would be down.
And that could happen. That's
for real.
actually one of the most realistic ones. You know, you talk about like an Ace Christian and Chase Wakefield, Navon McDonald, and those are friends of the show. Those are
Yeah.
obviously
I
Chase
mean,
and
that could happen any point.
that's what I was going to be. My point is that even though, yes, Chase and Ace are in our Hall of Fame, even guys like you and Nicholas Crenson, guys
Mhm.
like you and Sean Jovi, it might be a little difficult based on the distance, but, you and a D'Angelo, that's realistic. That's a
Yes.
realistic deal.
Yeah. I would love to face as many people that I've named or you've named.
I gave you some good names
It
to think
takes a
about.
lot to travel out there, make time for
Oh,
it. But
absolutely. Listen, I
eventually,
mean,
yeah.
I was talking to D'Angelo off the air, and we're talking about the travel, and Jack Delta is a friend of the show, and
Mhm.
Jack talks about the travel. Aaron Blaze is a friend of the show, and he
Yeah.
talks about the travel. A lot of guys, have done the travel. It's not easy. Listen, it's to travel as far as some guys do. You got to give them all the credit in the world. That's why we're always about all wrestling that matters here, and definitely that's what it's all about here. But also, somebody wants to say, my buddy Peter Richards, I'd pay 25 cents for a CJ's. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think he would cost more than 25 cents, though, right? Don't you think he
Put
would?
that shirt on Jason Storm because that's exactly what he is, buddy.
So, Jason Storm, though, not a fan of him right now? ADT is not a fan of him at all, by the way. ADT has certainly had no love for Jason Storm. So,
I mean, I thought he was actually like gonna do something good, but then when they tried to fool everybody, it,
But by the way, I actually have to come before I get to a few more things and say sayonara for the evening, and
yeah,
let you certainly celebrate, and we can acknowledge and respect you officially in our Hall of Fame. But
yeah.
Mr. Allen would like to say, as for your demand or request for the I Bow Down match at No Return 5, I'll take it under consideration. And I also want to put it out there for under consideration that before No Return 5, Jacob Young is going to be here, and he's going to talk about that. So Jacob
Okay,
Young,
well, you know what, Tom? Maybe I could come on here that night. Maybe we can
do it
officially have
absolutely.
like a contract signing for the match. You could be like the moderator. We could talk trash. We could set up the match right here on Sportswire.
I'll tell you what. You know what? I'm pretty sure that we could make that happen. And I was even wondering, maybe we'll have to find out. I know we have
Mhm.
Mr. Young has until
Next week.
he has till next Thursday, so I could guarantee you that we'll get a date and we'll make it happen. How about that?
That
How
sounds
about that?
good.
Okay, so
There's
we'll
a
make that.
lot I have to say to him on here. It gives me more time on here to speak to him than on Rampage. So yeah.
Okay, well maybe Monday night, Monday, April 1st, it could be a working day. We'll see though. We'll
Okay.
see what Mr. Young gets to, but
Okay.
he
All
doesn't
right.
like that. Okay, so you know what? Obviously, it's been a historic night. There's a lot that we've covered, and I want to give you any opportunity to say two things. First,
Yeah.
to any final thoughts to Jacob Young, Mr. Allen, Mr. Joseph. So I'll go first with that. You have any final thoughts for them? Obviously, Mr. Young is going to be here before No Return 5, so you'll get one more shot at him. And any else you want to say toward Joseph or certainly Allen before I ask you one more question?
Jacob Young, you have 1 week to answer my challenge. So you better be ready to accept it or not. Um, I'm looking forward to No Return. You're gonna go through a lot of hell and pain that night. So
That's why they call
I
it No
can't wait to
Return.
meet back up here on Sportswire with him.
I think we're going to do it within the next week, and that's why
Uh,
they call it, after all, No Return, right? No Return 5.
yeah, Joshua Allen, you better. I don't know exactly what to say to him.
Say
He
what you
better do
always
me
say.
well. He better do me well this season. I better not see no shenanigans or
So
him putting me in kind of weird situations where I have to defend this title like every night or something. That would be ridiculous.
could be a
Uh,
long season then.
to CJ Black, I will come to ROEW. Since you want to deny my offer of me joining your group, well, you better be ready for when I come to ROEW because I'm taking that world heavyweight title and I'm taking your group out.
Is that a promise?
Yeah, that's a promise. That's a threat.
Oh, it's a threat. Ooh.
CJ Black, you better be ready.
So maybe we'll have to get you and Mr. Black on Sportswire one of these days, if that's what you say. If you want that.
Yeah, I'm gonna prove to him that I'm not such a little guy.
I never thought you were a little guy. I
I
mean, I don't
know,
know.
but that's what he said. So
Well, you know what? People are entitled. Listen, what do I tell people all the time? Everybody's allowed to be an opinion, but it doesn't mean it's a fact. You might, to him, be little, but in terms of your resume, it ain't little. It's actually pretty long. It's pretty
yeah,
tall. And that's why you're a Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, which is why I want to ask you one more question before closing thoughts. And I want to thank everybody that's tuned in. By the way, we've had over 20 plus people watching
that's
tonight. So I
awesome.
want to appreciate that. Yesterday with D'Angelo, between Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, we had like 127 people at one point. So people seem to
Awesome.
like what we're doing. So I appreciate the
Yeah.
support. But you have any final thoughts to anybody that supported you and helped you on this journey, which has led you into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame officially as our 55th member?
Let's think. Going back 7 years, I would like to thank Josh. I'll name everybody: Josh, Mitchell, Nick. All right, I'll just name the rest of the names: Josh, Little Mike, Buzzsaw Billy, Gage Flair, Redneck Mayhem. Let's see, Andrew Clay, Beast, Jay Wild, Max Chaos. It just the list goes on. There's a lot of people. Jack Delta.
You're like
Everybody
me
that I
now
ever
when it comes
faced.
to the list of people I have
Yeah,
to
I
thank
wasn't
all
gonna
the
name
time.
everybody. I was just thinking of some names. I want to thank my opponents. Basically, y'all have helped me. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Well,
And
how would you like one day, right? You thanked a lot of people, right? How would you
yeah,
like one day down the road that we could actually induct the company as a whole, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame? How does that sound, you think? You think that the guys would like that? You think that Mr. Allen would
yeah.
be okay with that? Do you think that'd be something that we could make happen one day?
I believe we can make that happen. That would be a great honor to have everybody on here and induct TBW as a whole.
Yeah.
And that'd be
Just,
awesome.
I think that it's long overdue, and I think that you guys have been the definition of all wrestling that matters. And,
Yeah.
you guys have been a true American success story, a small business dream, an American dream, really. And I think that, if
Yeah,
that's what
we started from the very bottom and
it's
rose
just
up.
like I had a
Incredible.
conversation. Listen, it's just like I had a conversation with one of my listeners, one of my loyal listeners for over 5 years. Angela Pink called me up and said, Tom, I just want to say I've been watching your shows on Sportswire. They're some of the best you've ever done. Watched you when you were on a Skype call on SoundCloud.com, and I just want to say how proud that I've watched you, and I watch your shows, and you have these wrestlers come on, and I want to say thank you to her for her support,
Yeah.
but also it's like what you guys have done, and I think that certainly I would like to do that sometime in the next several weeks, that we can get some guys on and
Yeah.
induct this great company as a whole into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. What about me? Yeah, I guess. Sure.
Yeah, I thank you too.
All
There
right.
you
Well,
are.
I would thank you too. Thank you for
Yeah.
tuning in. I would love
Thank
to.
you for all the viewers that tuned in.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? And the shows have been great. You guys, really, you should thank your viewers. I mean, my viewers are on
Yeah.
a smaller scale to what you guys are doing, but I'm appreciative of the growth. It's a small, long-term growth, but you guys have just had a massive following, 7,100 subscribers almost now, and about 1,000 plus views already on YouTube, I'm sure, by the
Mhm.
time tomorrow is. And that's
Yeah.
why you guys should be in the Hall of Fame. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have had here as our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, member number 55. And no, not like the Sammy Hagar song, I Can't Drive 55. Atomic Titan can definitely drive 55, because he is definitely number 55 of our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And that's why we are so honored to have had him on here. Honored to call him a friend. And I want to give you the floor, my friend. And it's been an honor to have you here to kick off
Yeah.
season 8 on TBW. And I want to give you the floor. I pass the baton to you. And anything else you'd like to say, fire away.
Thank you for allowing me to come on here and be a part of the
You're always
Hall of
allowed.
Fame.
Listen, we give everybody a platform. Whether you like it, everybody may like, some may like. We give everybody a shot on Sportswire. Always.
There's no radio anything like Sportswire.
I
That's why I
appreciate that.
wanted it
I
outbeats
appreciate that.
anything. So, uh, thanks everybody for tuning in. I could say thanks for watching TBW. Go watch Rampage 157, and that's pretty much it. Bow down, respect your hardcore king. There's a lot more to come for this season.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be acknowledging and respecting a lot from our hardcore king, the only Grand Slam champion in TBW history. He is our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He's our 55th member, fifth member of the sixth class. And also, he was just on Tennessee Backyard Wrestling's Rampage 157. He'll be facing Jacob Young in an I Bow Down match potentially here at No Return 5. But Jacob Young will be here live to talk about his decision, regardless or not. We will give you a date in the next few days. We will tell you when he's coming on. So we look forward to that and more. So hang on tight for when we give you those details and some. But my friend, congratulations. Thank you for all that you've done here. You have been a true definition of all wrestling matters. You have definitely been one of the people we will always love to have on here anytime, anywhere, any day, you name it. We'll be here with you. And I look forward to inducting the company that you call home so proudly in the next several weeks, Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, as officially a member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But until then, my friend, congratulations. Keep up the great work, and we'll see what Jacob Young has to say. And
yeah, I'm waiting.
We're gonna probably have you back there because you already said it. So there you go. But that's that. We're joined here by the Atomic Titan, the Hardcore King, newest member of our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, hardcore champion of TBW, only Grand Slam winner in the company's history. We were also joined to kick things off tonight with Tommy the Man Merriman, who was successful in his return to the ring for the XCW 21st season, where they kicked it off at Glory, where he defeated Hunter Halkin. Atomic Titan gets Jacob Young at No Return 5. Stay tuned for more details next Thursday's Rampage 158. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. If you're on sportswireradio.org, you're going back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, join me 10 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to have a full set of sports and wrestling coverage. TBK goes into the Hall of Fame as number 56, and I'll be joined by a slew of guys from the TSF Takes and the Sportswire Radio team to talk March Madness, baseball, basketball, football, WWE, you name it. We're talking about all of it. Join us here. Thank you to all of my supporters that continue to support us on YouTube and beyond. Go follow TBW 2017 on YouTube. Hit that sub button for it. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And acknowledge one more time our hardcore king,